Hello and welcome to Young Turks, India's longest running show on startups and entrepreneurship. I'm Shruti Mishra. I'm at the third edition of the Angel Summit that is being held at ACE ISDI in Mumbai. This one-day summit aims to connect business leaders from diverse fields to women and women-led businesses. The summit also aims to provide these women-led startups mentorship and funding. The theme of the Mumbai edition is Bridge the Gap, where conversations will revolve around bridging the gap between the genders in the corporate and entrepreneurial world. Previously held in Hyderabad and Delhi, the third edition of the Angel Summit hosted 30 speakers and 400 delegates from across India. With a firm belief that equal opportunity only happens with equal dialogue, the summit highlighted some of the issues women face in the professional world.
The vision of the Angel Summit is to bring like-minded individuals together to have a solution-centric dialogue around issues that women face in their professional life, and it could be societal barriers, it could be financial barriers. Our USP is that we're not just focusing on one sector. You can be a politician, you can have a technology background, you can be a lawyer. We welcome all women leaders to be a part of the platform. So we'll be in Dubai very soon, and then we'll be in Hong Kong, Singapore, and we're also going to Spain.
Adhering to the theme Bridge the Gap, a number of personalities gave insights on turning ideas into action. Trisha Shetty, founder of She Says, asked women to speak up and take direct action against sexual abuse.
I think first acknowledging the problem, acknowledging that every moment a woman steps out of a house, she has to account for who's going to touch her, who's going to stare at her, who's going to molest her. She's probably changing her clothes based on where she's going. Or I'm taking my own car today, I can wear the dress I want to. I'm going by train, my legs have to be covered.
True.
You know, men don't think about these things. They get up, they say, oh, this is what I want to wear, they go out of the house. And the only way we can deal with it is by empowering people with knowing their rights, speaking up, and rejecting all forms of victim blaming, shaming. And we can do this on an individual level.
The Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Act 2013 essentially provides for provisions for redressal for all women, including temporary workers and volunteers. Has this made a big difference in the world of startups?
The act is good, the implementation of it is so weak. I know of so many workplaces that have more than 10 employees but don't have an ICC established, which is an internal complaints committee. So if a woman is being sexually harassed, where is she to go to complain? There is no implementation. There is weak accountability again, because the mechanism, if your ICC is not established, you don't go to an LCC to complain. You have to go to the Women's Commission. So the implementation, the mechanisms to hold people accountable is really weak. I think all businesses, institutions, employees here need to step up and say, if I'm working in a workplace, okay, my workplace has more than 10 employees. Do you have an ICC established? Why don't you have an ICC established? As employers, we need to do better.
Your venture, She Says, has engaged over a lakh of young people through its music concerts, events, online portal. I'm sure you must have received a lot of opposition, a lot of threats. How have you managed to survive despite all of this?
You know, it's funny, I never got more harassed as I have when I speak about marital rape. They said marriage is not a license for sex, and I got slammed. You know, if wife doesn't have sex with husband and brothels are banned, where is man to go? No, you tell me where is man to go? And rape threats and really obscene remarks against me, and gang rape this woman, throw her out of India. What I had to do is take a step back and say, look, these are silencing tactics. Every time a woman speaks up, every time a woman claims agency, there's this need for everyone to show her place. With Priyanka Chopra, wearing what she wanted to wear.
Exactly.
It's like, hey, no matter how successful you're a woman, we'll show you your place. Around a man especially, we'll tell you how to behave. I'm sure the Honorable Prime Minister did not care what she was wearing. They were talking about more pressing issues. So these are all silencing tactics. We need to realize that for exactly what it is. Engage with those who you think are worth engaging. Like, I'm not going to engage with the man who says, where is man to go?
Another woman who's asking women to take charge is Chavira Jawad, Sarpanch of Village Soda in Rajasthan. We caught up with her to know how she is empowering women in Soda.
To begin with, just giving them a platform to voice the issues in itself was a big thing, because that's something that I realized they didn't have. While the Gram Sabhas, but women would not come there and they would not be able to speak in front of the men. So we worked around that. What we've also done is opened up a bank in the village, which helped with the financial inclusion, especially for women and the girl child. Then the volunteers come and teach them things about how to do costing and what aspects to look into and why it's important, because some very basic things that the women wouldn't think of. Because we're trying to make it sustainable. I want them to stop depending on somebody else and eventually take their trying to make entrepreneurs out of them. So just as of last year, there's a girls' college in my village which was being run by somebody else who ran into a huge financial crunch, and he was looking at shutting shop. So this college at that point of time had 300 girls coming from different villages, a lot of them married with kids, some even widows. And I was like, okay, we can't let this college shut down. So we took over the girls' college, and very interestingly, within a year, the number of students in this college has gone up from 300 to over 600 girls, while also I'm setting up a skill development center within the same college premises, which is going to be for the youth.
You've, in fact, in your personal capacity in your village, gone and built infrastructure, helped people. Tell us about that.
So I got elected the first time in 2010. And 2009, 2010 is when we saw the worst drought in the area. And to make matters worse, all groundwater in my village has been declared unsafe, even for the purpose of irrigation, owing to natural contamination and high levels of salinity. Our main reservoir covers an area of 100 acres, so it's pretty huge. And the soil was hard, and we had to dig quite a bit to desilt the reservoir and revive it so that it could hold the rainwater. So unfortunately, the government couldn't fund us because even though we're in the 21st century, machinery is prohibited for rural development. Ironic, because in the urban sector, if you need development, machines are imported. But what exists is not allowed to be used in the rural sector. So I think that's, again, something that needs to be spoken about, and that change needs to be brought to because we need to play fair. So then I turned to the private sector, but Tonk, which is the district that my village is in, we don't have any industries. And the companies that I got in touch with who did have their products and services sold in the villages, unfortunately turned around and said that you're not in close proximity to our plant or unit, so we can't help you. So that was the initial response. Then eventually 3 of my dad's friends pitched in, and we have a small hotel in Jaipur. It's a 25-room property. So I took the funds from there as well. There was just one young woman from Delhi, a young entrepreneur named Vandana Singh. She heard an interview of mine on the radio, didn't do any background check, and sent me a check of 50,000. Okay. So that actually really motivated me again. And eventually in 2014, Coca-Cola of all the organizations came forward because the vice president had heard me speak of the same challenges over 3 years at different conferences. So he said, okay, we're going to try and see if we can help you. So now we have about 20 acres of the 100 acres that's been desilted.
Talking about challenges of fundraising, we caught up with Jay Krishnan, CEO of T-Hub, to know how the venture is empowering women entrepreneurs. T-Hub is a one-stop destination for like government, startups, venture capitalists. You pretty much interact with the entire ecosystem. Tell me, how many women entrepreneurs essentially does T-Hub have?
The number of women entrepreneurs that we have is roughly about north of 15% for sure.
Yeah.
Within my own team, we have 30 people. We have over 60% of our employees are women.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not through affirmative action, right? We are very gender neutral. I come from the school of thought that we are all feminists and we should all be feminists.
You've commented that Indian startups are more about euphoria and less about substance. What can be done essentially to change this scenario?
The way I look at things from a macroeconomic perspective is to try and look at the underpinnings of other ecosystems, right? And the one that I've been a part of has been in the US. And the 2 foundations that built that amazing ecosystem has been fundamental science and research. And that gave birth to waves and waves and waves of innovation.
Yeah.
And the second perspective is not to look at everything through the lens of funding. And I think those are the 2 issues that we have in India. And that's the bad news.
Yeah.
Right? The good news is that we are mired with problems left, right, and center in this country. What that means for the entrepreneurial ecosystem is that it's a tremendous opportunity, right? So if we stop looking at funding as the end and look at it as a possible means to the end, and number 2, go back to fundamental science and research, and foster innovation through institutes like government. Governments actually play a humongous role. People like us, not-for-profit organizations, and academia. I think that will foster a new wave of innovation through startups in India.
On that note, it's time for a short break, but don't go anywhere as we bring you a power-packed panel that tells us how India can build equal opportunities for men and women entrepreneurs. Stay tuned.